Here we have a SAT math question. Okay, let's go to the information. F of x equals to 4x square positive 5x negative 21. G of x equals to f of x positive 2. Which of the following is an x-intercept of g of x when it is plotted in the xy plane so that y equals to g of x? Okay, so according to the question, we have to find the x-intercept of g of x. So already we have g of x, the function g of x is given over here. That is g of x is equal to f of x positive 2. Okay, so actually the function g of x is defined in terms of the function f of x. Okay, already we know the expression which is equivalent to f of x, that is 4x square positive 5x negative 21, that is equivalent to f of x. But here we have to get f of x positive 2, that is equal to the function g of x. Okay, to get the expression which is equal to f of x positive 2, what I need to do is in the function f of x, I have to replace each x by this x positive 2. Okay, let me do it. So now to get the stuff which is equal to f of x positive 2, I'm going to plug in x positive 2 for each x into the function f of x. Let me finish. So f of x equals to 4 times x positive to the whole square positive 5 times x positive 2 negative 21. Okay, now let's consider this information that is in the xy plane. Now y equals to g of x. So we can replace this g of x by y. So then I'm getting y equals to 4 times x positive to the whole square positive 5 times x positive to negative 21. Actually, this is a function of g of x. We just replace g of x by y for our convenience. Okay, now to get the x-intercept of g of x, what I need to do is I have to plug in y equals to 0 into the function g of x. So this is a function g of x now. So now to get the x-intercept of this function g of x, I have to plug in y equals to 0. When I do so, I'm getting 0 equals to 4 times x positive to the whole square positive 5 times x positive to negative 21. Okay, now to get the x-intercept of g of x, I have to solve for x in this equation. So to make the solving process easier, what I'm going to do is I'm going to substitute a new variable for this stuff x positive 2. Okay, that is let me assign a new variable, that is let t is equal to x positive 2. Then this above equation becomes 0 equals to 4t square positive 5t negative 21. The same equation can be written as 4t square positive 5t negative 21 equals to 0. Okay, now we have to solve this equation for t. So once we get the value of t, it can be replaced by the original stuff x positive 2 and we can solve for x. Okay, now let's solve this quadratic equation now for t. I think this quadratic equation can be solved by factoring. So for that, what we need to do is we have to multiply the constant of negative 21 by the coefficient of t square, that is 4. When I multiply negative 21 by 4, I'm getting negative 84. I have to get two factors for this negative 84 over here, so that the product of the two factors equals to negative 84. And when I add these two factors, it must be equal to the middle term, that is a coefficient of t, which is positive 5. I think positive 12 and negative 7 will work. When I multiply positive 12 and negative 7, positive times negative becomes negative. 12 times 7 is 84. And when I add positive 12 and negative 7, I'm getting positive 5. Okay, to get the value of two values of t in this quadratic equation, what I need to do is I have to divide both the factors over here by the value of by the coefficient of t square, which is 4. Let me divide both the factors by 4. So when I divide this positive 12 by 4, I'm getting positive 3. And this factor 7 is not divisible by 4, so it will remain same, negative 7 of 4. Okay, now to get the two values of t, what I need to do is I just have to change the sign of each of these two factors over here. If I change the sign positive sign over here, I'm getting the first value of t, that is negative 3. And if I change this negative sign, I'm getting the second value of t, that is positive 7 over 4. Okay, now I got the two values of t. Actually, t is a variable taken by us, so it has to be replaced by the original stuff, that is x positive. Our aim is to find the value of x, which represents the x coordinate, the x-intercept of g of x. Okay, now we can replace this t by x plus 2. Let me do it. So I'm going to replace, let me write x positive 2 equals to negative 3 and x positive 2 equals to 7/4. Okay, to solve for x in the first equation over here, I subtract 2 from both sides. When I do so, the positive 2 negative will cancel out. I'm getting x equals to negative 5. The same thing I'm doing here. I subtract 2 from both sides. I'm getting x equals to 7/4 negative 2. Okay, now I got two values for x. One is negative 5. And even if I simplify this one, I'll be getting a fraction. Okay, let me simplify this one. So 4 times 2 is 8. 7 negative 8 is just negative 1/4. Okay, I'm getting negative 1/4 as a value of x. Okay, so these are the two x-intercepts for the function g of x. I find this negative 5 in option B. So the correct answer choice for this question is option B.